So have you ever heard of a game called WWE All Stars? Came out on the PS3, Xbox 360, PS2, PSP, Nintendo Wii, and the Nintendo 3DS. And a funny little fact is the Nintendo 3DS was basically the most complete version because it had all the DLC wrestlers on that little cartridge. Anyway, why am I talking about All Stars? Well, I just got it for the PS2. I have a modded PS2 that I bought on eBay, and I've been playing all these games from Japan and other regions, and I got the PS2 version of All Stars, and even the PS2 version, which is probably one of the worst versions because it looks terrible, it was still super fun to play, even on the old hardware. It was very responsive with the controls and everything, so it had me brainstorming, there's got to be a way to bring this back as a remake / remaster. Since we're in the era of remakes and remasters, why not remake one of the greatest wrestling games of all time? So I made a little list of things that they could do to really make this game shine if they ever decided to do so. I don't care if it's possible or anything like that. This is what I would do if I was the guy in charge to bring this game back. Alright, so first and foremost, what do you see when you first look at this game? It's a sausage party. There's not a single women's wrestler on this roster. It is all men. And during that time, it was the Divas generation. It was bras and panties matches. It was bikini contests. So the women weren't taken seriously back then like they are today. They are actually got their own division. They compete just like the men do. In fact, some of their matches are way better than the men's, in my opinion. So having them in the game makes a lot of sense nowadays. And if they're going to do the thing that they do with 2K, where the men can't fight the women, then we got to add enough women to where the roster makes sense to have it split. So here are 16 women that I would add to the game. Sound off the comments below who you would add, but I split it up into two sets. Current roster and legends for the women. So the first thing I would do is the 16 women, starting with current roster. That would be obviously Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Bianca, the EST, Jade Cargill, because I feel like she would fit this game perfectly, Io Sky, and then the 8 legends I would pick would be the obvious ones: Trish, Lita, Victoria, since she just signed that new Legends contract, or whatever it's called now. They call it something different. Michelle McCool, Maurice, because The Miz is in this game already. Let's see here. Molly Holly, Jacqueline, because Jacqueline hasn't been in the game for a long time. Tori Wilson, again, she hasn't been in the game for a long time, so why not? So those are who I have for 8 current and 8 legends. Now, the second thing I would do to bring this game forward is really add more to the Creator Wrestler, because it actually had a Creator Wrestler back then. So what I would do is I would take the Creator Wrestler, obviously create a female wrestler, add in all the features and options for that. A lot of the parts they used in this game are from the SmackDown series games. So all they would have to do is take stuff from the 2K series, kind of change the art style of it a little bit to make it fit the body forms in this game, and I feel like it's a win-win, right? You have all these parts already made. All you have to do is change how they look and how they fit on the wrestlers, and they can bring in someone like Ukes, who I'm assuming is done with AEW, and they could come in and they don't have to start from scratch. Everything's there. They could go in there, do their thing, add in all this stuff, make it perfect, and then release the game under the Ukes name, right? Because I don't know who owns the code for this. I don't know if it's lost to time because THQ went under shortly after this came out. But yeah, that's what I would do. Not community creations, we'll get to that in a minute. But create a female wrestler, male wrestler, add in a ton of new parts, new features, a logo feature where you can upload logos, basically all the features that the 2K series has. Just kind of copy and paste it over to this game and work it in there somehow, because it already has a base for creator wrestlers and stuff. So I feel like they could add on to it, especially if they hire someone like Ukes that knows this type of stuff in and out. They've been making it since the original SmackDown. Why not? All right. Now, to piggyback off of the Create a Superstar improvements, give us create an arena, because this game only had 6 arenas to play in, and that got old really fast. If you could create your own arenas, basically, like I said, copy and paste it over, change up the visuals a little bit, make it more to this art style, I feel like that would work, because the arena itself should be pretty easy to change, because it's not a moving, thing. It's just a video screen. I know some of them have, well, no, none of them really have moving parts, so it shouldn't be that difficult to change the look of it, especially with the modern technology we have at our disposal today. Heck, they could use AI to do it. And then along with that, create a championship. That would be super fun if you could make your own championships in this game also, with this game's art style. Full on, fully featured championship belt mode, or create a belt. Let's do that. Now, to piggyback off of the creation suite stuff, we gotta have community creations. Imagine if they added all these features, all these parts and everything, and then they added community creations on top of that. Imagine what the community could come up with. This game would last forever if they had community creations added to this game. You could make people like Deadpool, you can make Psylocke, you can make the X-Men, you can make any wrestler that's missing from the game, any legend, anybody, and it would work. They would also have to have a music editor or creator to really have it fully featured, now that we can't have custom soundtracks. Anyway, so yes, community creations for this would be phenomenal. All right, and now the last thing I would do to really bring this game forward, and we're going to go over to the SmackDown Hotel and look at the roster for this game, because it's only 43 wrestlers, and a lot of those are locked out as DLC. So let's go over to it, and I'm going to have to zoom in here because there's so many ads on the sides, it's slowing down my computer here. Alright, so we're going to do this separately. We're going to do Legends first, just so you can see how much stars are in the DLC. So Legends, we got Andre, Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero, Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snake, Jimmy Snuka, Macho Man, Mr. Perfect, Ricky Steamboat, Rowdy Piper, Sergeant Slaughter, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, The Rock, and The Ultimate Warrior. They could update The Rock's model. They could easily remove Snuka, because I believe he has some allegations of murder, so they might have to remove him. Yeah, but rather than that, I'm pretty sure they have Legends contracts with all these guys. Sound off the comments below if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they could still use all these guys. And Hogan just signed a new 5-year contract, so he could be in the game. They still have the rights to Ultimate Warrior. I don't know how long that's going to last. Everybody else is pretty much still there. So let's see, Superstars. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, because a lot of these wrestlers aren't with the company anymore. We're talking about Big Show, he's over in AEW. CM Punk came back, so now would be the perfect time to bring this game back, because all they'd have to do is give him a new skin of his modern look, and you're golden. I don't think his moveset has changed much. And I was shocked when I went back through this. I'm like, oh yeah, Drew McIntyre was in this game. So again, just re-upload his character model, give him a beard, make him more jacked, change his moveset if need be. And then unfortunately, we would have to remove Edge, Jack Swagger. I was laughing. I'm like, I can't believe Jack Swagger made it into this game. Of all the wrestlers they had back then, Jack Swagger? Okay. John Cena. John Morrison they'd have to remove. And John Cena could be moved to the Legends tab because he's more of a legend now. And they could change his look. And then Kane would be moved to the Legends tab and hopefully given his mask gimmick, or have both. Kofi is still there, so they could use him. Randy Orton is still there. Rey Mysterio. Sheamus. The Miz is still there. That's why we'll get... Well, no, I already talked about it. The Maurice. I made this video like 5 times, so I'm trying to not repeat stuff. All right, so The Miz and his wife. That's why I included his wife in the game. That would be really cool if she was in it. Triple H. I wouldn't change his model at all, even though he's bald now. I think this was the best version of Triple H. And The Undertaker. Obviously, The Undertaker is in the game. Now, here's the DLC. And when I played this on the 360, I got 1,000 achievement points. And my dumbass didn't go and buy all the DLC. I never thought in a million years that they would delist all this stuff off the digital storefronts. It was still pretty young in the digital storefronts and digital gaming era, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll just buy it later. Nope. So I missed out on all these. I'll have to go upload or play my 360 save because I don't remember who I'm missing. Anyway, so we got the Big Boss Man, which I think they could still use. Chris Jericho, they'd have to remove because he's in AEW. Cody Rhodes was in this game, so we could just upload his model with his current gimmick and look and music and everything, and you're good to go. Probably change some of his moves, and I think he's good. He's ready to go. And then his old man is in it, Dusty Rhodes. I'm like, holy crap, Dusty made it in here? I totally forgot about that. And then Honky Tonk Man, who is in 2K24, perfect. He could easily be in this. He must have a contract with them. Jerry Lawler, I'm pretty sure, is still contracted or has a Legends contract with WWE. Mark Henry, now that's the one I'm not sure about because I know he left AEW, but I don't know if he's back with the WWE officially. So maybe they can leave him in, maybe they have to remove him, I don't know yet. And then Michael Hayes, pretty sure they can leave him in. $1 Million Man, heck yeah. R-Truth is still there. Now the Road Warriors, I'm mad at myself because I don't think I downloaded them on the 360. I'm like, oh yeah, they'll be there forever. I might have because there's my two favorite, they're my favorite tag team of all time. These guys are awesome. But yeah, so I don't know, I'll have to go look, but hopefully they could be in the game again, but I don't know because they've been excluded from 2K22, 2K23, and 2K24. I don't know if we got bad blood or did something, but yeah. And then obviously they'd have to remove him because I believe he stole, like, he embezzled or something. I'll have to go double check that, but Ted DiBiase would have to be removed. But yeah, so because we had to remove so many superstars, let's go to the all page here. We got Piper and everything. Awesome. So since we had to remove all those stars, to modernize the game, to really bring it up to the modern era or the modern fan of wrestling, here are some wrestlers I would add to the game to really give it that extra cherry on top if we're going to do a full remake. So number 5, add some modern wrestlers to the men's roster like Roman Reigns. I'm shocked he wasn't here because I believe he might have started like right after this, like the Shield, obviously. So anyway, so Roman, Seth, LA Knight, Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker, mainly because he is the Intercontinental Champion right now. Drew McIntyre, which he's already in there. I wrote this before I looked at the roster because it's been so long since I played it. Jey Uso, Yeet, Kevin Owens. We got to get Kevin. And if you're going to get Kevin, then you have to get Sami Zayn. Uncle Howdy, because I feel like he would fit this game pretty freaking well. And then Damian Priest, because he's one of the main wrestlers now on the roster. Chad Gable, he's in the main storyline, so we got to get Chad Gable in there. I would love Otis in this game, but I didn't list him. I feel like Otis would fit this game very, very well. And then for some legends, obviously the Fiend Bray Wyatt would look freaking awesome with this art style, so I would love to see the Fiend in here. Diamond Dallas Page, since he is now in the 2K24 game, or will be with the WCW DLC that comes out in November for 2K24. Road Warriors, which they were in the game. I wrote them down. I'm like, holy crap, they were in the game, but they were DLC, so I probably didn't get them. Iron Sheik, since he's coming to the 2K24 game, they could easily put him in here, and he would fit this game perfectly also because he was part of that era of the golden age of wrestling. And when I originally made this list, I totally forgot about Brock Lesnar. I don't know if he'd be in the Legends tier or the Modern tier, but we have to have Brock in this game. When I was going through this, I'm like, wait, Brock wasn't in this game? Yeah, it's because he left and he was doing Japan and trying to become a football player and all that kind of stuff. So Brock Lesnar in this game would be awesome, assuming he's not guilty of any of the allegations that are ongoing. Anyway, and then Mankind. I feel like Mankind would fit in here pretty good. Doink the Clown, perfect for this game. And Batista. Now these are just some that were off the top of my head that I wrote down. I could sit here for hours and go through every wrestler that should make the cut, but I feel like I got a pretty good list of legends and modern talent that should be in this game. So sound off the comments below. Who do you think should be added, both modern, male and female wrestlers and legends? And what would you do to bring this game to the modern audience modern fans and to give it a chance for new players to play, because to me this is one of the greatest wrestling games of all time, and it's lost to time. It'll never be re-released, unfortunately. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sound off the comments below, as I just said. Stay frosty.